Welcome to the show, Unity Nguyen, a multi-instrumentalist teacher favoring the African 21-string Kora instrument. You've described that as having taken over your life. You have a varied musical experience throughout your life. You traveled extensively. After about 3 years in West Africa, you continued your musical studies and went to the Bay Area, which is where you met our very own Skyler Jett.
Yeah.
You are a refugee having escaped from the Vietnam War, the youngest of 7 children raised by your role model mother. Your roots are very much in the Vietnamese culture, very much a musical kind of background I think you've had. So there's so much more to talk with you, and thank you so much for joining us. So please do tell us more.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's a great little recap. Thank you. So, I grew up with the Vietnamese music, and really interestingly, the African music and the Vietnamese music both have variants of the pentatonic scale.
Oh,
So
wow.
there is something global and I think like cosmic about these relationships among the musical notes. You know it, yeah? So yeah, some deep connections there. One time I did a show where I did it with some Manju Kone and Karamba, Giabate, some of the African masters in the Bay Area. And in the background, I had a slideshow showing the similarities between Vietnamese and African culture, like people carrying things on their heads, especially rural life. There's so many commonalities around the world. And
Yeah.
so there are like Vietnamese folks, some of my family members at this show, and there are like a variety of people. And you know, Vietnamese and Asians in a way are very insular.
Mhm.
The traditional folks, they like their children to marry other Asians, things like that. And they're a little bit wary of other cultures on some level. I'm making generalizations, of course. Um, but after the show, a number of Vietnamese people came up to me and said, "Hey, I didn't know that there's so many similarities with our human family in Africa." So the visual and the musical coming together, the traditions really got that point across that I was hoping to make. So yeah, just the musical connections in my life and in the travels, I've been super blessed in that way. Just always getting back more than I receive, but I really love experience the music with the folks on the ground, like in the village setting and in the family settings, as well as, you know, in the bigger in the larger setting. So I just love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. And you're so radiant at it. I mean, you know when people are in love with music, right?
You know it, yeah.
You know,
It's
it's
a
saturated
joy.
in your soul and it's so beautiful. So over there, what are you doing over there?
I'm doing a couple of things. After I was in West Africa in my early 20s with the Peace Corps, I went to Chinese medicine school and got a master's there, and I
Mm-hmm.
still practice that. And then I went to UCSF Medical School and got a medical degree. Then I heard there was a new family medicine residency program on Big Island. I was like, I am there because I'd come
Okay.
here. Yeah, I'd come here to do some music and just fell in love with it. So did my residency here and then worked in the local clinic of this little kind of rural town here, Pahoa. It's full of local Hawaiians and farmers and hippies and outlaws because you can kind of disappear out here. So it's a real
Hippies, I
fun
love
mix
it.
of people. Yeah. And then I just left that setting and now I am just in the process of building an online health practice actually
Oh
with
wow.
functional medicine and integrative medicine and the results that you can get when you combine the different approaches. Wow, I'm just super excited. It's a lot more satisfying than like seeing each person for 15 minutes. Actually, sometimes I get like 7 minutes with each person and just
Mm.
cranking through like insurance model style. So now I get to really dig in and get to the root causes and just like change fundamental lives, and then it spreads out and they're like influencing their families and their kids and their neighbors and all that. So yeah, health revolution.
Yeah, serious humanitarian spirit. Bless you for that, my sister.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be able to do work that you feel is really meaningful. You know, I wish that for everybody. It, you know, makes it worth getting up.
Bless you for that sharing heart that you have. You know what I mean? Ryan, you got a question?
Thank you for being on the show today. So you said you're in Hawaii right now, right?
Mhm.
Gosh, my condolences. What a
shame.
what a terrible place to be.
We're praying for you. You know,
You
keep your
gotta
head
come
up.
save us over here.
Keep
Come
your head
join us.
up.
Yeah,
Keep your
yeah.
head up. Actually, I just wanted to. Tom said that you and my dad met in the Bay Area. I wanted to get a little bit more information of when you met him and what was that meeting like? What were you
Well,
working on?
you know, Skyler's always up to good things and he's just radiating the good energy and it comes back to him. So I got to be around him in the music setting. And the one that's coming to my mind actually is I think it was at your house at the time, Sky.
Yeah, the
And
Napa.
yeah, with your family. You know, I have to be honest, those times I was in medical school and I was super sleep deprived. And that makes your memory just like all a blur. All I remember is just like this wonderful voice and this radiant presence like you still see now. And
Yeah.
just like being so inspired by Sky's just like super positive energy. And
Mhm.
it's like right now I see what you're doing, like music for global change. Wow. But like even then it's just emitting the same energy and like anything that Sky touches is just got this like warm, heartfelt feeling
Oh,
around it, you know, so
thank
just
you,
so
man.
inspiring. And so, yeah, the Bay Area is just such a rich community of musicians
Yes, it
and
is.
like so much culture and like just, you know, everything that comes with the whole mixing up of cultures. There's like cultural and racial tensions, and then there's like magic and incredible expression and creativity. And Skylar's just like this spark of light in that whole community. And I'm so glad that you're taking it on a global level now. I'm so glad we get to be in touch through the technology here.
Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? You way over there. What's 11 hours? I think you behind us.
We figured it out, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And you came and did that gig with me at the BART station.
Yep, with your friends there. Yeah, that was so great. I learned a ton.
I got to tell you, I'm standing on the stage and I'm watching the kids because we're in the kind of low area, and I'm watching those kids and they was watching you play. And I'm like, wow, they've never seen an instrument like that before. And that was so gratifying and beautiful to me. If anything happened, it opened their world, right? For them to see you play like that. Let's hear one of your songs. That's what
Yeah,
I'm interested in your, what is this instrument? Can you explain a
this
little bit?
is the Kora. It's a 21 string harp lute. It's a harp because one string, one note, but it's not technically a harp because it has a bridge. So technically it's more like a harp lute, and it's got a big gourd body.
Yeah.
And yep, a long wood post. So it's got like the earth element, and then it just reaches up to the sky. It really balances the yin and the yang.
But now when you take that and put a beat on it, it goes to a whole nother level though, right?
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the same traditions as the djembe and the dundun, actually. So talk about beats. Yeah. And the balafon. How's the volume here?
Beautiful.
Good.
Okay. This is a classical song called Kora, which means peace.
I love it. I'm gonna use that from now on.
All right, Kora. Fama Laila Laila Kaira ba Alaire Fama Kaira. Oh Lord, grant us Allah's love. Peace below and peace above. Lots of peace and lots of love. La ilaha illallah, khaira la ilaha illallah. Fama la ilaha khaira ba ala ira fama khaira. If you have lots of money and if you have lots of gold and you don't have a lot of friends, oh my dear, you are not rich. Lanaya sutumanding nala, sutumanding nanala, dekile makairapa. One day, ninga wonu no tekele. One day, ninga wonu no tekele. La fama la khaira ba ala ire fama khaira la la fama la khaira ba ala ire fama khaira.
Namaste, sister. That's really beautiful.
Wow.
Namaste, Kaira, peace.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, so beautiful. Do you go around to some of the other islands and do it too?
I have a little bit. I've played on Maui and Kauai. Yeah, but mostly these days, I just love to be home and go out and walk barefoot in the garden and just plugging away at my new business for now. And we got a nice little local music community. We
awesome.
play, on Thursday nights, we've been doing this thing called Organic Ecstatic.
Boy.
Drum based with some like organic instruments.
Oh
and
yeah.
just really sweating the prayers out is what it's about. And, creating that alignment. It's with Chris Berry, who was also in the Bay Area and studied in Zimbabwe a lot. And it's really about creating that when the sound vibrations and the rhythm are all aligned just right with the intention to create a portal between this world and the spiritual world so that our prayers can really clarify in ourselves and really transmit,
I love it. Tom, you got a question?
I've got loads of questions, but I also love a nice segue because you just mentioned drum and bass, and I just want to talk about where your love for drum and bass kind of came from. Particularly, I'm talking about kind of West Africa and your links to Ghana. If you could tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so I was in college. I was 20, and it started with taking a Congolese dance class with the master Biza Sompa. And then I was hanging around with his crew and soaking in what I could. And then I was walking down the street one day and I heard the sound on the street and I gravitated towards it. And it was these four brothers who had been studying traditional West African rhythms. They're just playing on the street. And it was an answer to a prayer I did not even know I was asking, when your spirit and your heart just fly open and you're like, yes. And so I'm like, I just gravitated to them, and I'm like standing there just like totally feeling it. And the brother's playing djembe. He's like, in my bag, there's a bell. Pick it up. Play this. Gang, gang, gang. And I was like, gang, gang, gang. He's like, yeah. And so then I just ended up following them around and studying with their teachers. And then when I graduated that year with a degree in ecology, I applied to the Peace Corps, and I could have either chosen Thailand or Ghana. And because of the rhythm, I was like, oh, I'm going to the source. I'm going to West Africa and see how the rhythm is in the context of daily life. You know, so I got to stay there. And there's 143 different tribes in the area that has been, you know, the boundaries were put on it. They called it Ghana. Right. And these tribes used to all be warring with each other. It was a really bad scene. And then Kwame Nkrumah in the 50s, he took a master musician from each of the tribes and put them together and said, hey, okay, you guys get together and you learn each other's music. Wow. And those master musicians went back to their peoples, and they each said, oh man, the Kagomba people, they do this dance like this. And then the Ashanti people, they're going like this. And oh man, you should have seen this dance that the Ghana people do. And they started liking each other because of that. And then that's how, that's how the wars ceased. Yeah. So yeah, the power of music. And then I was getting, you know, and each village had its cycle for market days, and our cycle was every 6 days. So every 6 days on market day, you stay up all night and you play the drums. And then, you know, just every birth and every occasion is just full of drums. And there's like my house as a volunteer, there's the kitchen, the storeroom, and the bedroom, and in between is this courtyard where a lot of life happens. And then when you go to, I cemented my courtyard, and every lady in the village brought her little special wooden paddle over, and you play drums, you hire the drummers, you feed them, and they play, and then everyone's just like rhythmically pounding your floor for hours together. So I got to experience the music just, you know, so incorporated into the life, and I'm just so blessed for that.
Ghana is roots vibration, right? Yeah. Ryan, you got another question for me?
I'm honestly still fascinated by that instrument. I'm the only non-musician in this group right now. So can you show how you were playing on the camera? Because it looked like you were typing on an iPhone, like the same movements.
Great question. Great question.
Like how to explain that? I'm so fascinated.
So these 3 fingers hold the handles, and I got 2 fingers on each side to play. So mostly the scale goes back and forth between the 2 sides, but down here, you gotta, let me turn this on. Down here, you got a few bass notes until you go right, left, right, left, right. So here, you get this thumb doing these like alternating bass lines, just like on banjo and like on some instruments, yeah.
Very cool. So
mostly it's alternating back and forth. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
I was like, man, she must be really good at texting, because she's fast. She's getting those messages out real quick.
Yeah.
So cool. How did you even get into this instrument?
Well, I was actually, after Ghana, I went looking for djembe teachers, because that's what I had fallen in love with in Ann Arbor. I had all these very idealistic notions that, you know, the music is so sophisticated and sublime that I thought everybody in that country must be like a spiritual master, you know? And what I found, just like when I visited Vietnam, is that, you know, people's hearts are the same everywhere. And when you don't have enough to eat, and when your kids don't have enough to eat, sometimes your morals get bent, you know, just trying to survive.
That's right.
And so being a foreigner at that time in a very poor country, the people that I met were mostly the ones who were going to come up and get in your face and be like, hello, I love you. Will you marry me? What is your name? Take me to your country. Or, hey,
get me out of here, right?
Yeah. And the people who are more respectful and just, you know, more chill, they're not going to get in your face like that. So I met a certain segment of people more. And I was really discouraged. And same with kind of the musicians that I was meeting. They were the ones who were like more forward about meeting the foreigner and getting the opportunity. And so my heart was aching, and I was like, wow, where's these ideals that, I thought were around the music. And that was, it was unrealistic of me. Humans are humans.
That's right.
But then, so I bought a ticket to leave on the train back to Mali, and I was going to leave the next morning. And I was standing on the street corner, and down the street comes this colorful rainbow of people. And it was my first djembe teacher that I'd seen playing on the street, who told me to pick up the bell. Neither of us knew each other was there. He had brought a group of students. He comes down the street, and we're like, what? And he had dreads, he'd grown dreads. He said, look, this is the one thing I wear in my dreads, is this brass ring you sent me from Ghana.
Wow.
And so we reconnected. I sold my ticket. I stayed. I went and stayed with his teacher, and his teacher brought some Kora players around. And the first time I heard the Kora, I was just weeping tears of joy. One of those things again where the heart just opens, and it just chose me. I didn't even have a choice.
That's so cool.
And so then I play a little bit of dun and djembe now when it's needed. But mostly the Kora's taking over. Yeah.
Listen, I want to say thank you for the privilege of your time. I love you, sister. Thank you for that.
I love you too. And well, thank you so much.
Aloha.
Aloha. Namaste. Amen.
Namaste.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.